Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. And in this series, we're going to be going over Jupiter in the houses, okay? Jupiter in the houses. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about the fourth house, okay? Having Jupiter in your fourth house. And before we go over with that, I want to remind you guys to check out my music, okay? I have music on Spotify, Apple, and here on YouTube. Some of you guys have been commenting on the intros and the outros on the videos. So that's my music, check it out. All you gotta do is type in Sam Dolphin and it'll be sure to pop out. Anyway, with that being said, Jupiter in the fourth house. Now, before we get into Jupiter in the fourth house, let's just dissect Jupiter and the fourth house real quick. First, starting with Jupiter. Jupiter in astrology is the planet of expansion, okay? This is the energy that expands everything. It makes more of everything. And because Jupiter is this expansion energy, this equals to abundance, okay? Having abundance of something, having a lot of something, anything, anywhere Jupiter is in your chart, it's gonna represent what you have a lot of, okay? And abundance equals to wealth, it equals to a lot of support, it equals to a lot of opportunities. So that's why when we talk about Jupiter, we're not only talking about expansion and abundance, but we're also talking about luck, or how luck looks like. Jupiter is known as the lucky planet because if you think about it, if you think of like you did a raffle and you had 100 names and 80 or 70 of your names were yours, there's a great chance that you would be chosen because of how many names are there. Well, that's how Jupiter works. It expands your opportunities, your options in life. It gives you an abundance of it, so you're very lucky. So Jupiter is that very lucky planet. It's a lucky energy. And it also represents philosophy as well too. Okay, this expansion is also an expansion of your mind and your energy and how you see the world as a bigger picture. So Jupiter is very connected to your faith, what you believe in, your spirituality, your philosophy. And then you have the fourth house. The fourth house is the house ruled by Cancer. It's the house of family, okay? It's how you emotionally develop. It's the type of nurturing you were given. And based off of that, that determines how you nurture other people and also how you build connections with other people. The fourth house is your soul, okay? So it's really going to represent what you feel comfortable with, what makes you feel emotionally comfortable. And again, the environment, the type of family environment, how you were nurtured and raised emotionally, all right? So with that being said, Jupiter in the fourth house, the first thing I can say about Jupiter in the fourth house is that your family is expanded here. People with Jupiter in the fourth house can have very big families, okay? Lots of siblings, lots of relatives. Even if you don't have maybe a big family, like directly, maybe your outside family, like your cousins and aunts and uncles are very involved and it feels like you guys are just all one big intimate family. Whatever it is, Jupiter is expanding it. So your family has this big sort of expansion, lots of family members, lots of people that you can connect to and nurture to. So Jupiter in the fourth house, it definitely expands your family. A lot of people with Jupiter in the fourth house have big families, okay? And even, like I said, even if their direct family isn't big, the outer family, it's probably very close to them, and there's probably lots of family members that they can reach to us because Jupiter is making this area in your life an abundance. So you have a lot to choose from. Also, with Jupiter in the fourth house, this can make your family very philosophical, very religious, very much on their beliefs. The theme of your family could have been, you know, your parents could have like raised you in a certain type of religion and belief and pushed a lot of that on you. A lot of Jupiter in fourth house people have religious families. Even if it's not religious, there could be certain philosophies, certain faiths, okay, certain beliefs. A very spiritual family, a family that is very philosophical, a family that does like to educate and expand everyone's mind. So spiritual family is definitely a theme here with Jupiter in the fourth house. You're gonna have family members that push that onto your mother. Could have been very religious, very philosophical. pushing ideas to your head. Your father could have been your whole family dynamic, come from a very religious based family. And again, it doesn't even have to be religion, just anything dealing with faith and your philosophy and your bigger ideas for the world. This could have been pushed onto you a lot within your family, and this could have been a very big theme within your family too. And especially even your mother or whoever was the nurturer. A lot of times the fourth house can explain your relationship with your mother, okay, the nurturer. Because the fourth house is ruled by Cancer, so it's going to represent the nurturer, how you're nurtured. And of course, that's your family, but even more directly, it could be, you know, your mother. And if it wasn't your mother, maybe your father took more of the nurturer role. But whoever was the primary nurturer, especially your mother, that could have been someone who was very philosophical, very religious, taught you a lot of things that she believed in, taught you a lot of things that she's seen, that she's experienced, that she believes, and puts it down on you and makes that an important thing for you. Okay, so faith and beliefs and stuff like that is going to be an important value for you because that's how you were nurtured. Also, with Jupiter in the fourth house, your family can travel a lot. Okay, you can have a family that travels a lot, moves to different places a lot. You know, it's a family that likes to take lots of trips and see different things. And you know, Jupiter in the fourth house, you know, again, you know, that family, that expansion, you know, they're always expanding your horizon. So even if you weren't like traveling, you could have moved a lot to different areas, different locations. Like you could have been through different schools because you're constantly moving or constantly traveling. So you're learning different people as well too. And that's another big thing with Jupiter in the fourth house. A lot of people with this placement are very well rounded in terms of culture and seeing different types of cultures and different types of people because their family did lots of moving, lots of traveling, and that caused lots of different experiences and had you see different people and adapting to different situations and cultures and places. So having a family like this, yeah, you could do lots of moving. In fourth house, we talk about childhood because again, especially with the first four houses, it has to deal with your development. So yeah, your development, you could have been developed in a way where you're constantly moving, constantly traveling. All right, so yes, a traveling family, and that helped expand your mind and help you open yourself to different types of cultures, different types of groups of people in general. And Jupiter in the fourth house people, these are people who are well adapted. These are people who can adapt to different situations, people, cultures, places, because that's how they've been developed emotionally. They've been traveling a lot. Their parents opened them to so many different people a lot. So very open-minded people, and they're comfortable with that, okay? Because again, this is their family life. This is how they were raised. So they're not going to be, these are not people that are going to be like, oh, I'm only used to this, or I'm only used to that, I only hang out with these people. They're not. They're going to be a lot open because of that Jupiter influence, okay, in their emotional development or fourth house, you know. So very well adapted people like to can get along with, and they can pretty much adapt and understand and get along with different types of people and aren't so closed-minded, okay? This is an open-minded house, okay? Because again, your emotional development is a strong core to your personality. So having this way of developing makes you naturally a very open person. You're not scared of different types of people. You're not like, oh, I'm not used to this, so I'm not doing this. Like very open people. And it's really good. It makes you adaptable, and you'll learn lots from different people because of that openness you have, because you're so used to traveling and moving around and seeing different people, because that's how you were developed emotionally. Also, with Jupiter in the fourth house, these people can want freedom from their home, okay? All this traveling all the time, always moving, different things happening. These people aren't really homebodies, okay? You were taught that home is ever changing, and home can be far away, and it could be other places, and it's never has to stay the same, and it can constantly change. So people like this aren't really homebodies. They like their freedom. They don't like really staying home all the time or staying in the same location all the time. They like to go out and adventure and explore. So yes, these are people who aren't gonna like to be in familiar places. They're not really gonna like to just keep staying home. They're gonna want to go outside because Jupiter is the sign of freedom. Okay, so the idea of being locked in, like stuck in like your four corners, you know, in your barriers in your local town, isn't really an option for these people. These people are going to want to go out. They're going to want to travel. They're not really going to be people to stay at home that much. You know, if you're dating this person, because the fourth house deals with your emotional development, and that's going to determine how you connect to people in a relationship level in terms of long term. And I would say with Jupiter in the fourth house people, this is not a type of person who's gonna be like a stay home. Like, this is a type of person who needs to constantly be going out, needs a lot of activity and action within their home lives. So if you're dating this person, they always want to go out and they're always out and about, like, and you're not that type of person, this might not be the person for you. Also, with Jupiter in the fourth house, this can also lead to like having a foreign family. So like maybe your family was born in another country and then they moved to whatever country, and you could have like foreign parents, parents from a different nationality versus the one you're in now, or the country you're in now. So Jupiter in the fourth house can lead to, you know, having a foreign family, having a family from a different country who speaks a different language. And again, that's more exposure to different cultures, different types of people, and that is a theme with Jupiter in the fourth house. Like, again, always dealing with foreign people and different cultures and things outside of our normal local life. Okay, so this is why these people are so expansive, so open-minded, know so many different things, is because they're always dealing with that. It's in their family life. Okay, it's in the way they were develop emotionally, even within their family. Their family could be from a different culture as well too. So yes, that is Jupiter in the fourth house. Very, very amazing placement for a person with open mind. I mean, this development is great. It really, people with Jupiter in the fourth house, they're not really gonna have all these, and I can't say that because it depends on how your planets are aspected. But overall, this energy influences a person that is well adapted, that isn't going to have all these stereotypes or like discriminations between people, because they're open and they understand that there's differences out in the world and everything isn't meant to stay the same. The only thing I can say about this placement is that Jupiter in the fourth house people are very detached. Okay, so they could be raised in a family that there was so much space and detachment, like it was all about freedom. Okay, so there isn't much of like an emotional connection. You kind of are taught that things can change, things are always different, and to travel and to be free is the goal. So with that type of nurturing, it creates a detached like family, or a way of connecting to family. These people like their space. You have to understand Jupiter is space. It rules Sagittarius. They like their freedom. They like their space. So suffocating ties from the family, you know, staying connected to people in the family so intimately isn't a trait for Jupiter fourth house people. They actually like space and freedom within their emotional connections because that's how they were nurtured and developed. I mean, there's so much traveling, so much freedom, so much change, so much detachment with how they were raised. So it creates a detached way that they connect and create connections and relationships with other people as well too. It's not negative, it's just that they like their space, they like their freedom, and they don't like to feel trapped in relationships, okay? Because of the way they were developed. So that is Jupiter in the fourth house, okay? I hope you guys enjoyed that. And if you did, book a natal chart reading with me, okay? I do natal chart readings as well as tarot. We include that all together. All you gotta do is email me and we could go forward with that. And check out my music on Spotify, Apple, and here on YouTube. I have all the links in the description box below. And I'll check you guys out on the next video.
Don't you want some, have some, don't be shy. 'Cause now I'm taking it back. Yeah, I'm taking it back. Oh, you taking it back? You don't be texting me back.